Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend and are enjoying our transition into spring and to new phases and to all the changes that are about. I hope you're finding the joy where you are in the now, in the present. I wanted to share something that happened. Now, but before I get to what happened yesterday, I'm going to just share a little bit with you about some of my past experiences when it comes to signs. So, because of my experiences, and some of you have watched some of my content, some of you have not. But if you have, you know I've had some very out there things happen, some supernatural stuff. I've witnessed things throughout my life. So things rarely surprise me. They just rarely surprise me. Okay. When I am conscious enough to ask for a sign, I get it every time. Now, unfortunately, most often I'm walking around forgetful of what's available to me. And I might get into a worried state. I might get into a fear state. But fortunately, with a lot of work, a lot of shadow work, a lot of understanding myself, processing, taking responsibility, being accountable for everything that's happened um, to me, for me. I do not stay in those places for long. I don't stay in a place of fear. And I remember very quickly, oh, I don't need to be afraid. That's just imagination running wild in the wrong direction. So throughout my life, having these experiences, I know, okay, well, if you are confused and not really sure what's happening in your life, maybe it would behoove you to ask, right? So, like for instance, this was a while ago. Wow, wow, wow. It's so long ago, it seems like yesterday. Everything seems like yesterday. I was in a relationship and I had been so happy with this situation. I was just, for most of the relationship, though I was really pushed to do things that I wasn't ready for, I loved this man that I was with. I loved his dirty draws. But we had problems. It was a very codependent relationship. Um, he wasn't working. He stopped working as soon as we got together. And all of his life like went away and he kind of joined me at the hip. Instead of two whole beings, we were two halves because I definitely was receiving from him. It wasn't financial gain, but it was attention, it was love, it was kindness, it was generosity of spirit. He was such a wonderful guy to me. But when it came to the basic survival things, he just stopped doing that. And I got to the point where I started healing and I started saying, instead of accepting everything as it is, you need to just say, why can't you get a job, right? So I did. I did. And everything changed. My guy, he got very angry. He got a job, a good job, because he was brilliant. He got a great job and he changed. He just wasn't the same. So Long story short, I was to the point where I was ready to do things alone. I was ready to get on my own. And so I, not saying that I would ever leave him. I loved him, but I wanted to do some things by myself. And so I asked him about something that I wanted to do, and he got very angry because I wanted to do it without him. And he told me that if I did that, he would leave me. And my mind was blown. I was like, how do you leave someone you love so much? And I remember going out for a walk, and I was crying because I was like, he's given me ultimatums before and I've always given in, but I can't give in this time. I need some autonomy, right? So he left. He left. And I didn't understand it at all. I thought this was the love of my life. We would be together till one of us croaked, went on to the by and by, and he left. And so I was out walking and bawling and so confused. And I was like, God, please give me a sign that I'm going to be okay. Please give me a sign. You go from loving someone completely to them leaving you, right? And right then, when I asked, this cardinal flew from a tree, landed at my feet, and looked up at me. I was like, oh my God. And it just was like, yeah, you're going to be all right. That was the vibe, right? Another time, I know this is going to be a little funny, but I got bone spurs. I walk every day, and I damaged my feet by so much use, and I couldn't walk, and I was in horrific pain. I couldn't afford the medicine, and there was really nothing they could do. And so I had gone out thinking I could make it because I got new inserts in. That didn't work, and so I was crawling home, and I prayed, God, please, please, what do I do? What do I do? And in my next step forward, I saw through the tears a bowl on the ground. It was a bowl. You know what I mean? I'm not a marijuana user. I became one because that was a sign. So I've been going through, trying to figure out next steps. I have a lot of things going on, but nothing is certain lately. And so yesterday I did it again. I said, I don't need to know how. I don't even need to know what I'm supposed to do. All I need to know is that I'm moving in the right direction, Lord. That's all I need. And I was at a friend's house visiting, and I went for a walk on this beautiful trail by myself. And this was right after I prayed that prayer. These 3 chickens, a rooster and 2 hens, came out of the trees. I do not know where from. And they beelined it to me. And the rooster stood right in front of me, about 6 inches away. And both of the other hens flanked me. So they were in a triangle. And they all stared at me. They just looked up at me. Yes, you're going to be okay. People were taking pictures. It was so insane. I was surrounded by chickens who were just looking at me, and I knew that I'm moving in the right direction. So you can ask. You can ask for signs. And if you have a knowledge and a truth within knowing that there is something bigger than you, you'll get the answers. I love you guys.